Turn 10 have just revealed some brand new details in relation to the Forza Motorsport Multiplayer, so let me take you through everything that we know. This was through the Forza Monthly live stream, as well as them dipping into some more information about some cars that are being revealed and things like that on social media as well. To start off, they revealed a brand new fictional track called the Grand Oak Raceway, which is basically this super wide flowing track with some high-speed corners and high elevation. And this track is designed to teach you about the high-speed corners. You know, it's great for the high-speed cars, but also the low-speed cars will benefit from it as well. Now let's talk about some new cars that they unveiled as well. So this was during the live stream. I'm only going to mention the ones that are brand new to Forza Motorsport in its entirety. They've been revealing some over on social media. I'll have those pop on screen as well. But the ones that are revealed during the live stream are the following. The 2021 Audi RS6 Avant, the 2021 Audi RS7 Sportsback, the 2020 Audi RS e-tron GT, the 2020 BMW M8 Competition Coupe, the 2018 BMW M5, the 2018 Mercedes-AMG E63S, and the 2018 Mercedes-AMG GT4 Door Coupe. They have mentioned this phrase before. They are saying that it's going to be a clean, uncompetitive racing in Forza Motorsport. Now, this is supported by a few factors. The driver and safety ratings, which I'll talk about later, the machine learning powered rules and regulation system, also known as the FRR, as seasoned Forza players will know, the race weekend structure, which is scheduled events and qualifying, car performance balancing, or as loads of other people like to say, BOP, so balance of performance, and new tyre compounds. The main multiplayer mode is called Featured Multiplayer, which has a race weekend structure. Each series has a live real-world time updated list of current and scheduled upcoming events, and so they're saying there should be always something for you to be able to join. And this is split into two types of series. There's going to be spec series. Now these are highly tuned and balanced machines, typically race cars. At launch you'll see majoritively GT and touring series. It's also going to have a rotating spec series to celebrate other racing divisions and makes. As for open series, you can bring any car for that cast restriction, and they will rotate through those car classes on a weekly basis. Each player will go through every stage of a race weekend as a group. Open practice, qualifying, and then the featured race. So open practice, this is time to use to get used to the track and car combination, tyre compounds and fuel levels, and adjust them accordingly. Now, at any point before the featured race, you can actually jump into qualifying, and you'll have a limited amount of laps to set a qualifying lap time. You can have a specific tyre compound as well for qualifying, so you can have set one for qualifying, and then you could set another one for race if you so want to, if you want to get a quicker lap on a faster compound if you so wish to. They're also introducing what's called Skip Lap. This is a new feature. So this is available in open practice and qualifying. So it's a rolling start on a fresh lap if you necessarily need it. This will cost you that current lap, so use it sparingly. They've used machine learning to overhaul the FRR system, which is the Forza Race Regulations for short, and now they recognize over 5,000 unique racing incidents, including track cutting, intentional collisions, and dirty driving. And the FRR system will give penalties or even disqualify you if it's too severe. Now, with this new system, it allows them to fine-tune it in the future, and they can add more racing scenarios as time goes on. So it's not set in stone, is this system, when we get it on launch. So if it isn't exactly perfect at launch, I'm sure that they can tweak it based on the community's feedback. Because they're using a lot of machine learning, they've actually removed the tyre walls, which they've used to prevent track cutting. Because the machine learning, it does that job anyway, so they don't need those tyre walls. So they have been completely removed. As well as that, they've redone track limits. It allows for more of the track to be used than before. Driver ratings are skill base, and the new version of True Skill that is powered by machine learning. Safety ratings, on the other hand, are influenced by on-track behavior, affected directly by FRR penalties. In terms of matchmaking places you in a similar safety and driver rating. There is a new series as well in multiplayer. It's called the Qualifier series. Now, this is more of an introductory series into multiplayer. This is something that you have to go through, so all players entering multiplayer will be doing this for the very first time, and it gets you used to the multiplayer format and gives you a base for driver and safety ratings. And you've got to do that before you go to open or spec racing. Pitting is way more authentic. There is still a cutscene in this, but with this, there's a menu where you can choose a new tyre compound, you can repair, you can fuel up, all according to what you have. Think of it very similarly to how Gran Turismo does it. Talking of pitting and a little bit of tyre wear, there will be UI that will show your tyre wear. So yellow and red are going to be worn and very worn, so it'll actually show you when you should maybe start considering pitting, or you definitely should be if you're in the red. Private multiplayer. Now, this is the first time I've ever heard anybody say about private multiplayer. So with all these settings, you can choose your race type, so a circuit, timed, multi-class, or even if you want to organize a meetup. The car class, so things like the track, the length of the race, and the rules and regulations, and they actually show a few screens. So I might be repeating some of the ones that I've actually mentioned there. So there's a rules screen, and on this rules screen, you can see that you can change the following things. So there's an event rules presets, which is something I've discussed before. There's car-to-car collisions, ghost back markers, simulation level, Forza race regulations, FR disqualification, disable ghost effect, grid ordering, ascending grid order, roll of delay type, roll of delay in seconds, end condition, so is number of laps, is a race timer, scoring type, compare best lap score, mandatory pit stops, and you can set how many that you want, number of teams, team scoring type, interleave teams. Talking of teams, there are going to be up to 4 teams that are going to be supported. On another screen, there's an event setup. And what we saw was you could set up the number of laps, the race timer, the custom starting time in hours and minutes, time progression, time scale, and weather, which, remember, will be dynamic, but you can set a starting weather type. You can also change assists and camera overrides. As for car restrictions, you can restrict the min or max power, weight, drive type, and aspiration. Now, these private multiplayer lobbies, they are not affected by driver or safety ratings. We've also had a mention of rivals. So this is returning, where it's a selected track and car combo and includes a tuned car that is always available for rent for free. And it also includes a slight upgrade where it includes some easier options for selecting your training ghost and your starting rival. And it also includes this skip lap option that I mentioned earlier. And car mastering is also available, so you'll also have that as well. But do bear in mind that all rented cars, well, they will be stock, but they won't gain any levels or XP. So any owned cars have that advantage with car mastery. With rivals as well, you can rent any of these cars that you want, and with the open series, private and time attack, you can take any car that you want to, build a car that you want to. You may need to upgrade it, you might not, it might need leveling. It all depends on the track car combo, but whatever you build, you can take into that. Every week, the rotating spec and open series change to new ones, so this will affect leveling up cars, as each week will be different, having a bit of variety. And this also means if you're running something like a community races, or you're a competitor in those, you can use that to your advantage around those community races and get a bit better, a bit more familiar with those car classes or car track combos. Legacy features was also mentioned, and the way that they worded this was this feature won't be available at launch. So there isn't really an expectation for these features in terms of, well, are we going to expect them after launch, as they've used the words at launch, or are they not in at all? It wasn't 100% clear, but what they said was there's going to be no spectator mode at launch, no AI in multiplayer sessions at launch if there was lacking of players, and no split screen. And that's everything that we learned about the new multiplayer. There's quite a lot of information in that, but what was your favorite? Personally, I'm really liking the sound of the fact that we've, 1, got qualifying, and 2, we've got some more solid pit lane action, which is always good in a racing game that has that more simulation level. So that's sounding really good. So let me know what your favorite thing was from today's video. Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video and like to see more like this one, make sure you are subscribed. I'll be covering future Forza Motorsport content and news as it comes along. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.